Hey there, Steve here. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to look at a chord progression from the song Dotwork, and this is by the band Delta Sleep, and this is from their Ghost City release. And we're going to take a look at the chord progression in the latter part of the song. And if you're like me, you found this chord progression very interesting, very intriguing. It sounds very dark and it sounds quite different to what other bands offer. And this is a typical Delta Sleep kind of chord progression. So you saw the chord progression in the intro there, and I'm going to break it down a little bit more and explain what makes this chord progression so special. So stay tuned. So I'm just going to jump over to this little kind of display window to help explain what's going on with the chord progressions that you saw in the intro there, and I'll explain what makes them so wonderful. I'm going to use a bit of music theory. I'm going to dive into a bit of that. And if you're not familiar with any music theory, please stick around. I'm pretty sure you'll pick up something new, and it's not too difficult to follow the stuff that I'll be going into today, and hopefully you'll pick up some new tools that you can use to apply to your songwriting. Just want to preface this with saying that this is all my own understanding of music theory, so I could be wrong about a few things. So if you have your own take on this chord progression, then please let me know down below in the comments. And just before I dive in, I just want to say that this is one of my favourite math rock records probably of all time. It's wonderfully produced, and you can tell they spent a lot of time on it, and there's a lot of wonderful songs on it, so I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So I'm going to look at two chord progressions that I've shown you in the intro there. I'll show you each chord progression in turn, and I'll talk about what makes it special and perhaps what they did when they wrote this chord progression, and possibly why they did it too. So this first chord progression starts with this D major 13. I'm pretty sure it's this chord, but I could be wrong, but either way it's a D major chord. And it moves to this E flat minor 7 chord. Sounds nice and tense, right? And then it goes to this B minor 9 shape. It does a little variation there, but it's still a B minor chord, sorry. And then we come up to this F sharp minor. Then there's an F in the bass, which sounds lovely and tense, right? So what makes this particular chord progression special is the use of this E flat minor 7 and also this F over an F sharp minor. So if we were to look at the key of D major, originally this E flat minor 7 would actually just be an E minor chord. And if this chord was to be played diatonically, so I mean just using the chords that are in the key of D major, it would go D major 13 to an E minor 7. So that would sound something like this. Which sounds very different to D major 13 to an E flat minor 7. The E flat minor 7 has a lot more tension to it. So here's them back to back. I think it was a preference of choice there to make things sound tenser and to really make this chord progression stand out. Next we go up to this B minor 9 and then down to this F sharp minor. They could complete the phrase with just staying on this F sharp minor. Back to the D there, by including this F in the bass, so by flattening the root note. Again, it's adding extra tension to this chord progression and making it slightly more interesting. And again, it's another semitone shift like we saw in the D major 13 to the E flat minor 7. A D note to an E flat note. Then we have this F sharp. So you can hear the tension there just from that root, right? If you're interested about where this F note is coming from, I believe it's coming from the parallel minor of D minor here. So you could play, for example, an F sharp minor chord to an F major chord. That's kind of a very kind of well, it's done a lot, but that sounds a lot like Radiohead kind of stuff, right? So, but instead they've just used the root here, and I think it's more of a passing note, not actually intentionally borrowing a chord from the parallel minor. And this E flat minor 7 is it's a flat minor second. Okay, they flattened the E there, and I'm not too sure where that's coming from theoretically wise. So if any of you got any good ideas about it, then please fill us all in down below. Let's move on to chord progression 2. And here we've got something similar going on, but we've got another chord thrown in. So we've got the same with the D major 13. Then the tension again with the E flat minor 7, so a flat second. and then we go up to B minor 9, and this time we've got this A major chord thrown in, kind of like an A major 6 sound, and then we got this B flat minor 7 chord, and then we come back to the B minor 9. So here again we've got that semitone voice leading going on to add tension. So basically your ear is hearing this. So a ringing A string, and then a flat B flat, ending on the B there. So basically it's just walking, this B minor 7 is serving as like a transitional chord between the A major to the B minor, but it's adding that bit of extra tension and keeping in theme with the rest of the chord progression there. So that's what makes it sound so special. Again, I'm not sure where this B flat minor 7 is coming from. It's not coming from the parallel minor. It could be a modal thing, modal interchange, but I've checked that too, and I'm pretty sure it's not coming from there. So it's just more of like a kind of a jazz kind of thing where you flatten a particular thing to create this semitone walking harmony. You know, we have these semitone kind of intervals of chords that are very close together, but it's not really used in a jazzy way here. It sounds much more tense, right? And I think it's a lovely progression overall, and I think that's what intrigued me so much to try and work it out. And this is the best I could do. And I'd like to hear your input on it too if you've got more theory knowledge than I have, but this is best what I've come up with. So there's a brief but in-depth look at what makes this chord progression quite special. So I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun working this out, and I was excited to show you, so hopefully I've done a good job of it. Like I said, I'm really fond of this album, and I'll probably look at some more chord progressions from this album just to see if there's similar things going on, because you hear this kind of thing happening quite often across this album, and I think that's what really gives Delta Sleep their signature sound. If you would like me to do other videos about chord progressions and a special chord progression in a song, then please let me know your suggestions down below. I want to say thank you very much for watching this video, and I want to say thanks to all of those that support the channel, either by buying my merchandise or buying my Math Rock ebook, or if you're a patron, I'd like to say a big thanks to you as well. You're keeping this channel up and running, so I really appreciate that, and giving me time to set aside to make videos like this. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.